What's up, world? Lee here at Sticks, Strings, and Other Things, my tiny little corner of the internet where I come to you every other week and talk about all the crafting things that I have been getting my hands on. And yeah, today is, what is today? I know, I just looked this up. You'd think I could remember. March 2nd. I don't know how it's March. I mean, last year was March for most of the year. Like we had January, February, March, 2nd March, 3rd March, hot March, smoke March, fall March, spooky March, turkey March, festive March. Then we had January, February, now here are with March again. I don't know. I don't know if I can do this again, people. All right. March 2nd, and this is episode 11. Who knew? Who knew I'd get to double digits? I'm still having fun. Hopefully you are too. Anyhow, like I said, this is my corner of the internet where I discuss all the crafting things I have been getting my hands on. And this past 2 weeks, I kind of took a bit of a crafting break because I overdid it again. I need to realize that when I am working on a very large blanket, I can only do it in short bursts. Otherwise, I overwork my wrist and things go poorly. So, I don't have as much to share with you today. So maybe this So maybe this won't be an hour. We can only hope. And if it is, you know, you can just like go down one of those two sides and just speed me up. Skip ahead, whichever. Anyhow, let me reach over for my tea because I put it too far away. Today I'm drinking some Charapeco tea. It is a black Guatemalan tea and it's very, very tasty. And I'm almost out of it, which makes me very sad because last time I looked, the place I bought it is also all out of it. Anyway, it's a really nice black tea. I very much enjoy it. It is in my Calamity Ware mug. Yes, things could be worse. Luckily things aren't, especially for people in like Texas where things seem to have gotten much better. Thank goodness. I hope all of you are now powered and hopefully didn't have water mains and pipes break and all of that. Anyhow, let's discuss this. I pulled this one out of the giant drawer of finishes that I never do anything with. This was my Beatrix Potter Quaker. It is on an unknown linen in an unknown size. I'm guessing 40 count. I'm guessing 40 count. And I used a Vicky Clayton's silk. I want to say it was fish paprika, but I'm not 100% sure about that. Anyway, absolutely lovely. As you can tell, iron. What? Why would I iron anything? I mean, that's crazy talk. Iron? That's like finishing. Not something I do. Well, I finish. I just don't fully finish. Anyway, so I pulled this out and pulling it out. Oh, that's really pretty. I really like it. I really should probably start thinking about how to frame some of these things because it's quite lovely. All right. As for what I am wearing, I pulled out my Crown Wools by Casapinka, and I am trying to remember the dyer, and I am not, but it was the Caribbean Storm colorway, and I put that on today because it's quite lovely, and it's nice and turquoisey and blue, and it's nice. And I live in Washington State where normally it's gray and rainy and horrible, and today is gray in some spots and super sunny in other spots. It's very, very chaotic skies out there today. But you get that sometimes. Like I said, I didn't really get much done this past 2 weeks because for about 8-9 days, I didn't touch any crafting. And when you spend most of the time of the 2 weeks not crafting at all, you don't have a lot to show for it. Just letting y'all know. This relatively slim pickings on the knitting and the cross stitch projects. Sorry. So, look at the pretties I've finished. Anyhow, so let me show you what I did work on. Let's start with my knitting. There is nothing finished. This should not surprise anyone, but there is absolutely nothing finished. I did work on my Ganzi Afghan, which yeah, I need to be better about how I do that. And this one is in Encore Tweed from Plymouth Yarn Company. I couldn't remember. In the lovely, beautiful, wonderfully, perfectly named color T789. Yes. Guessing the T stands for Tweedy because it's Tweedy. Anyway, it is a partly acrylic yarn, and I'm in the middle of a row. I'll try and be careful holding this up now, because I'm in the middle of a row, which, oh well. Stay on the needle, just stay on the needle, please. So there we go. This is where I was. This stitch marker here, and I got that far, which doesn't seem like far until you realize I did this all in one day. yeah, that was the stupid part. That was the foolish, not really thinking things through part. So yes, I got from here to here in one day, which is too much to do. And if I want to continue knitting, I should not do that. So I did this lovely diamond pattern, the garter stripes, and then this is just kind of a fun, I don't know, speckly, seedy looking thing. It's not seed stitch, but it's seedy thing. And yeah, middle of a row. I never do that. Evidently I do. Anyway, I'm going to pop this little stitch marker up, boop, so that the next time I work on it, I will be able to show you where I've been. So yes, I did that, worked on it too much, almost finished the whole skein there in one day, and I shouldn't, and I know better. So I think I need to train myself better when it comes to that one, and only do a little bit with it when I have my hands working. They are actually working now. I have a really good brace that I've been wearing, and I don't have to wear it every day now, but I am wearing it at night. And no crafting. And this is why you shouldn't overwork your arms or your hands or any other part of your body, because then you can't do the thing that you're enjoying doing, and it's horrible. Terrible. Right. So the only other thing I really worked on knitting-wise was my Kushelig by, I don't remember, using the Hugh Loco One Pot Wonder Advent Calendar that I got last year. And they're already starting to sell Advent calendars. Certain people are. I saw one for Ginger Snap? Ginger Snap? I think that's who it was. And Hugh Loco put out one, and Canon Hand Dyes has put out one, so I'm on the hunt again for a good one. I'm hoping for another Hugh Loco One Pot Wonder. So I had just finished these two, I think, and I was working on this color. So I put in color 4 and color 5. And that is as far as I have gotten on that one. So let me see about moving this marker into the green. Done. So yeah, I am loving how this one's coming together. Kind of this fun fishtail vertebrae looking braid that I am quite enjoying, and I think it'll be interesting to see a One Pot Wonder all knit together, because as far as I know, they aren't meant to all go in one project. Some advent calendars are, some are just, hey, they're fun colors. And I believe this is one of the, hey, it's just fun colors, because she used some different bases, like this one right here is her sparkle base. I don't know, you can't tell that it's a sparkle base. But trust me, there's sparkle in that one. And most of the project isn't sparkle, but a couple of them are. A couple of the days were sparkle yarns, so that's kind of fun. And I'm really finding it fun to see how all of these wacky colors are going to go together, and enjoying it quite a lot. And that was all my knitting. Yep, that was it. When, like, the day after you film, you end up overextending the time on your wrist, you don't get much done, and it's very depressing, as I have said. So let's move on to the stitching. I did do a little bit more of that. I was working on my Elizabeth, which lives in this spider bag. So I was working on Elizabeth Carriage House samplings. Ooh, that's, yeah, you can totally see that, right? Let's try that with less glare, because I love her hair. And I don't remember if I was working on this one last time, because what is time? And I don't know what time is, so maybe I'll have shown you most of what I've done. But I did put her away recently. But there she is. I finished all of the leaves and filled them in, and I did the fun stars that you can see, and not that you can see it well. There you go. Her hair, which is the thing that drew me to this piece. And you can see it better in person, like there. That you can kind of see it a lot better, and that's more or less what it looks like in person. Absolutely love her hair. It's wacky, it's fun, and I like it. So I did that, and there's a couple mistakes in it, so I'm gonna have to kind of fudge her a little bit. Whatever. No one will know. Then I pulled out for a couple of days We Live in Hope by Blackbird Designs. I have been trying to pull this out every 20th of the month, and I think I pulled this out for just the one day. Can you peek? I'll work at getting that again. Yeah, I pulled it out for just the one day. This is on Lakeside Linen's River Willow in their 40 count, and I did not do all that much on that day. I put the last color of pink on these flower buds, and I started doing the Greek key looking thing that goes across the top. I mainly did that so that I could, my plan will be to finish the border. And since this is more or less square, but not quite, I don't think, I didn't want to have to keep counting, so I put in one strand of this so that I know, hey, this is the top. Yeah, whatever it does to help yourself, right? So I did that much, and I really am loving this one. I'm loving the colors on it, and just, it makes me smile when I pull it out. Not that I get much done on it, but it makes me smile. I even had moved my Q-snaps over so that I could continue working on it, and just never did. So I'm like, obviously I don't want to work on it anymore, so I'll put it away and pull out something else. But I did pull it out on the 20th, like I've been trying to. At least it gets me moving on somewhat with that progress. And this next piece is Jane Reese. This was my birthday start last year, and so I'm trying to do this one every 28th. This is Jane Reese with their picture, which amusingly I was looking at it today and realized that they've cut off this half of this part, not half, but they cut off a chunk of the sampler in this photo. Oops. Details. I have this one in a gianter. That's a word. Larger. It's a much better word. A larger Q-snap, because I didn't cut the fabric, because I'm always concerned that it's going to be too small. even if I measure 12 times, I'm just scared. So it's on a 50 count giant piece of fabric. I think it's like a yard. She's a big girl, but even still. So a lot of fabric that I have to deal with. I think I was up through M last time I was working on it. So I pulled it out on the 28th and did NOP. I'd already had the W and the X, so I've done through here. And I'm still really enjoying this one, so I'm going to keep it out. Also, this was pulled for my Whip Go for this month, for March, because hey, new month, new Whip Go numbers. And this was one of the pieces. For Whip Go, I have Jane Reese on my board 6 times, and each one is one alphabet. Now, you might have noticed something. I got to P and didn't continue the alphabet because I'm more or less out of room, and then came over here and was with W. So I have missing some letters here. Now, did I move my Q snap over so I could get those? No. Why would I do that? I just keep moving down, and I'm going to continue to do so. Maybe until I reach the end of the 6 alphabets, because you can tell which ones they are. And then maybe I'll move the Q snap over, because I think I can get all 6 started on this Q snap without having to move it. And then I'll move over and do the finishing of those alphabets. Maybe not, who knows? But if I do that for at least those 6, I will be able to know how far I can cut the pattern, fabric, cut the fabric on this side. And then I think I might just keep working down, straight down the pattern, like so, until I reach the bottom, so that I can cut it off and actually cut my piece out so I don't have all that extra fabric. And if you'll notice, there's a lot of alphabets. There are more than 6, by a lot. I think they tell you. I'm not even sure if they do. Let's see if I can read really, really quickly. Over with 20 different alphabets. So 6 isn't even going to get me to half. I probably should have tried to get to half on my Whip Go. Wah wah, I didn't. Oh well. So yeah, who knows? Who knows how I'll continue to work on this one. But I'm enjoying it. I'm loving the color. Like I said, it's a 50 count linen. I do not even have a clue where I bought it from. I bought it years and years ago, and when 50 count was actually really hard to find. And so I got very excited that I found a 50 count, and so I snatched up a yard of it. And I am using some variegated hand-dyed fibers silks. I forget which variegation. It was some numbers. I don't remember. But yes, that's that. And that's all I worked on, people. That's it. Yeah, it's kind of depressing, isn't it? Ah, well. My hand is better. Wrist is better. Being nicer to it. Really, I will be nicer to it. So I should not have such a dearth of projects to show next time. So let's move on to plans. My plans are to be more cautious with my knitting hand. But also on... my brain just went... It just left. Just... gone. Anyway. It's March, which means it is Sock Madness. Will begin this month sometime. The volunteers who put it together had registration go all the way through the 28th, like they normally do for the month of February. And then they have a whole lot of work they do behind the scenes to get everyone registered. So they can mail you out the patterns and all of that. Some years it goes really quick. I think it was last year we had the pattern like on the evening of the 28th or the 20 or the 1st or something like that. It was crazy fast. And other years you don't get the pattern until like the 15th or the 16th of the month. It all depends on how much time the volunteers have to set it all up and get us all ready. So I am impatiently refreshing the Ravelry page, group page, to see when the specs drop, because we don't know what yarns we'll be using. When you're preparing for Sock Madness, they send out a list of these are the yarns that were used, sock A, B, C, D, E, for I forget how many socks, and they throw in bonus socks in there as well, and there's a whole lot of socks. And you don't know which set of yarns will come at which time for which socks. But you know, hey, okay, I'm gonna need some contrasting colors, I'm gonna need some beads, I'm gonna need all that stuff. So they let you know that ahead of time so you can prepare if you don't have this going on and you're more sane and maybe only have this going on. If you realize you're missing maybe some light colors for a contrasting sock, you can pick up a skein or two. I never have to worry because I have stash. So waiting for the specs to drop just means that is the occasion where they go, hey, boom, here are the yarns that this is the specific set of yarns you will be needing for this pattern. And you know that after the specs drop, anywhere from a second to 48 hours later, sometime in that time, the pattern will drop. So I'm impatiently waiting for the specs to drop so I can go, yay! I have on my little winding setup, I have like 8 ideas because I think I know which sock it's going to be. I think I know which set of yarns it's going to be the first sock for the qualifying round. I could be wrong, but I could be right. So I have a selection out of ones that I think I might do, because some people are really great and organized and they go, here's all of the yarns I'll be needing. Here's the yarns that I will be using, and this will go for sock A, and that'll be sock B, and that'll be sock C, D, E, and the like. And when sock A drops, they go, hey, I have my pattern, my yarn for sock A. Here we go. I'll use A. Yeah, I tried that one year, and I had all my yarns all divvied up for each sock. And the first sock dropped for the, I went, I don't want to use that. I don't like this color for this pattern now. It doesn't please me. It doesn't make me happy. And this is my hobby and I enjoy it and I want to be happy. So I went, I'm not using that night. Threw it. Tossed it back into the stash and grabbed something else. And so it has gone every single year I've done Sock Madness. I think once or twice I've actually used sorry, I realized my needles for Kushelig popped out. Once or twice I've actually used the yarn I pulled out. But anymore I'm just like, here's a selection of ideas that I think I might have for this yarn, for this pattern, these yarns for this pattern. And then the pattern drops, and most of the time if I do that, I can go, yes, this will be the perfect one. So I have that all set up, ready, so that when the pattern drops, I can go, ooh, yes, this is the yarn I want. And ball it up and get going. So all of my other knitting plans are kind of paused because you knit a lot during Sock Madness and I keep messing this up. So I'm kind of holding off a little bit on the knitting. I will probably be working on Kushelig a bit tonight because I have my D&D game and I can easily work on that during D&D as long as I'm not in the middle of a battle. Everything works. If I'm actively trying to roll dice, it's hard to knit. I don't have 3 hands. That would make D&D really nice though, because I barely have to count with this. I mean, I know on one side I have to decrease every other round. Not hard. Really not hard to know how to do the pattern. So I'll probably be working on that tonight. But other than that, my knitting is plans are kind of over there. Just kind of hanging out, waiting for Sock Madness to start. Stitching plans. I have Whipco and Semi-Sane going on. Those are my main ones. A fluff. I don't know where it might have come from. Clueless. Yeah. So with my Whipco, like I said, Jane Reese was on my Whipco for this month, and my teeny tiny months, mini gingham months. I don't remember the designer. I showed them in my Whip Parade. Haven't worked on them since. So I'm supposed to get 10 hours in for those on that project. That it's a year-long project, or it's a 12 months. It's not a year-long project. I've had it for many more than 1 year. 12 mini tiny months that you knit on gingham pattern fabric. Whatever. I have to do 10 hours. So I will do 10 hours. Wait, maybe I did work on it some this year, because I did. I worked on it a little bit this year. Ha, I'm a liar. I did work on it a little bit. Anyway, I have to do 10 total hours. I think I wrote down how many I've done. I don't remember. And I have that technically on my board twice for 2 sets of 10 hours, hoping that maybe in that 20 hour space of time I'll finish it. But it is done over 1, so it's very, very tiny. So yeah, Jane Reese and my mini months are probably the main things I'm going to be working on. Also on the 20th, I will pull out We Live in Hope for this month. But I will be talking to you before that, because it's only the 2nd, and the 20th is more than 2 weeks away. Barely, but it is. So those are my plans, but God only knows what else will pop into my hot little hands when I decide, hey, you know what? Whatever, I want to work on this instead. You've seen me. Yeah, this is episode 11. You've seen how I work. I make plans just so that I can turn around and go, yeah, that's not what I did. I mean, that's not what I do. I mean, that's not my plan. It really isn't. I promise. Anyhow, enough of that. So those are my plans. Pretty basic, pretty boring. Well, I don't think it's boring. I hope you don't think it's boring either. Let me know if you do. Let me know if you're like, no, Lee, please, just like work on 12 things this week. It'd be great. Next 2 weeks. Just throw caution to the wind and start everything. God, that's a frightening thought. Anyhow. Next up, stash. And yes, I have stash. It's all yarn. All yarn. Technically, I do have one pattern I bought, cross-stitch wise, but it was a digital pattern, and I haven't yet printed it out. It was from Modern Folk Embroidery, so I have more than one plan this month, cross-stitch wise, because I forgot about this one, and I'm just remembering. Modern Folk Embroidery. I bought one of their patterns. It is the hiragana sampler one. I don't remember if that's the name, but it has the hiragana letters on it. Because someone was doing Let's Stitch Asia this month, like to try and bring awareness to all the racism against Asians right now because of the coronavirus, because people are rude and stupid and horrible. And I saw a lot of people starting that. I was like, oh, that's kind of a neat idea. I have a couple things that I could work on, and I have a Tokyo street scene, and I have a couple other things. I'm like, oh. And I saw the hiragana one on someone's YouTube. Not remembering who, but I saw it and went, I would love to do that. Growing up, one of my best friends was daughter of Japanese immigrants. So I grew up running in our house, eating Japanese food at the age of 7 without thinking it was anything weird. It was Mano's food, and it was very, very yummy. And her house was very Japanese. I mean, her mother and father were Japanese and lived there and were married in Japan, and then moved to the United States sometime after. And so their house smelled of a very specific, I'm not even sure what, but it was Mano's house. It was something Japanese. I don't know what. But when I was in Japan last year before the pandemic, I was walking through Kyoto, and all of a sudden I was like, I smell Mano's house. And I still don't know what it was, but it was something very specific. And I was like, oh, it was this wonderful memory. And I guess my camera doesn't want me to talk about my memories. I see how you are. Anyway, good memories, but had her as a friend. Then in high school, I took 4 years of Japanese class because I needed a language and I thought Japanese would be fun to learn. No, it really is. It's very hard, but it's really, really fun. And so when I saw this modern folk embroidery pattern of the hiragana letters, since, you know, I like alphabets, so like, yes, I need this, and so I bought it. And I was thinking of maybe starting it this month while people are doing that. I don't think I'd really be part of the stitch along, but maybe. Who knows? It encouraged me. Anyway, so that is technically stashed, but I don't have a physical thing to show you for it because it is a PDF that I haven't printed. Go to Modern Folk Embroidery. That is a hard word for me to say. Go to Modern Folk Embroidery and look for it, and it's absolutely beautiful, and it's just the hiragana. Delightful. Everything else is yarn. So first, last year, I did the Desert Vista Dye Works Knit a Sock a Month in her colorways and show them off. And if you do, you get a free special skein of yarn if you succeed at doing it for the entire 12 months. The You Did It skein. And here it is for 2020. It is the 2020 exclusive colorway called Someday. And I have no clue what 34 out of 100 means. I don't know if this is this is yarn skein 34 out of 100. I don't know if only 100 people succeeded at doing it. That seems really weird because that's a way too round of a number, so I'm guessing it is a die batch thing. But this is the one I got, and here is a fun mini to go with. That looks like it is the variegated version, not the variegated version of the stripy colorway. And I got really excited that I got this because I was very proud of myself for doing all 12 months of the socks. It was a goal I set for myself, and I did it. I felt very, very awesome about it. I had thought that I was going to do it again this year because I now have just enough skeins to do another 12 months of the Desert Vista Dye Works socks. But I was kind of tired of doing Desert Vista Dye Works socks. She does wonderful colorways. They're absolutely beautiful. Love them to pieces. And yes, I have lots of them. This was Somebody Mad here. Oh, crinkled. Yes. I have a whole bunch of them right over here. And yeah, they're in horrible crinkle land. Sorry about that. Jane Reese just fell over and knocked on the tripod. Bad Jane Reese. Bad Jane. I now have 12 again. So next year, I plan to do the 12 months, if she's doing it again. She's done it for a handful of years now, so I'm not sure how much longer she's going to continue to do it. But it was very fun. And that was the yarn. I love the colors. They're just... It'll be really fun to see how those work up. So this came, and it can now join all my other Desert Vista Dye Works yarns. Happy, happy. Then, oh, excuse my giant reach. My McMullen Fiber Company art yarn of the month showed up. What is it? What is it? The Met Fifth Avenue. Couldn't remember the name. The name of the museum that they are taking the art images from to design sock yarns about. That's sad. Anyway, this was the pattern that they chose for the month of February. It is obviously a Singer-Sargent pattern. I forget, Mrs. Hugh Hammersley. Yeah. Gorgeous lady in a gorgeous dress. It's got to be Sargent, right? Okay, a lot of painters did gorgeous ladies in gorgeous dresses, but this is very Singer-Sargent. And this is the colorway. So you can see, I mean, this is totally her dress. I mean, look at that. It's perfect. And this is on their Posh sock base, which is their merino cashmere nylon. And they named this one That Red Dress. So, talk about beautiful. Talk about beautiful. I love cashmere. And I love sock yarns with a little bit of cashmere in it. They just feel so luscious. But yes, Edwardian era, and that showed up. I had to join. I wasn't going to join another one of their patterns of the sock of the months. And they said, hey, here's a coupon. I had to after that. And I'm really, really glad. I mean, I'm only through, this is only the second month, and I'm like, yes, thank you. I am so happy I got this. So, yay. You can join my other McMullen Fiber Galleries yarns over there. And then I got my Sleeping Bear Yarn Club from Wool and Honey in Michigan. And this is their February colorway. It is from Craft Knot yarns. I'm not sure what it is. I don't know. Craft Knot yarns. And this is the colorway The Fresh Coast. It is a superwash merino nylon fingering weight. 463 yards, not 643. That would be an amazing skinny yarn though. So here we go. And this one's lovely because I love how delicate it is with the pinks and the, I was just going to say blue, but there's more than blue going on there. There's blue and brown and green. And it's quite delicate, and I like it. Craft me not. When you can't read the label, go to the back and look for their email and their website. That helped. Craft Me Not Yarn Company would be the name of them. And it's a nice yarn. It's very delicate. Ooh. This could be fun for Sock Madness. We'll see, we'll see, we'll see. And then my last Sock of the Month Club. Am I getting 4 Sock of the Month clubs? McMullen. That one. Oh, no. Desert Vista Dye Works is done. Okay, that I don't have any more of. That does mean I'm getting 3 Sock of the Month clubs. I need to knit a lot more. Oh dear. Oh dear. Anyway, the last one that I joined was the Farmer's Daughter. Words are hard today. I'm going to blame it on I went to the dentist this morning and my mouth isn't working anymore. That's what I'm going to blame it on. The Farmer's Daughter Fibers. I did their sock squad this year, and I'm quite enjoying it because they always give you a mini to go with. This is on their Highwood sock base, which is a superwash merino nylon, 400 yards to 100 grams. So very basic, nice plump, squishy sock yarn. And this colorway is called Running with the Wolves. And ooh, isn't that gorgeous? Oh man. If I were not doing Sock Madness right now, I would be casting this on because there is something about these magentas and purples that just is calling to me a lot right now. And I'm loving that skein. And having the mini that goes with is just too much fun. So, you know, just do your heels and cuffs. Sorry, I'm probably gonna do heels and toes. Or I could do cuffs and heels. Pick one, pick cuffs, pick toes, pick heels, pick all 3, pick 2, what else? I will just one of the aboves with this color because I'm loving it. Not a huge yellow or gold fan. Sorry, those of you out there in the world that I know do not watch this channel because I know you don't. But yeah, sorry to nerd it, Caroline. I'm not a yellow fan. I'm not a gold fan. I know, I'm committing sacrilege for a knitter right now. But that being said, I am in love with this color, with this yarn. It is such a perfect pop next to these colors. It's just gorgeous. So, I'm loving the gold. I'm loving the gold. What? Crazy. But yeah, but we're not for sock madness. This would be being cast on. Oh, huffing yarn. Oh, that has a good smell. Okay, for you non-knitters out there, I don't know why, but knitters sniff yarn. We huff yarn. I think they put drugs in it. I must knit you drugs, because it's everybody. This is what you do. It's unexplainable. It's a mystery of life, a mystery of the crafting world. Knitters huffing yarn. This one smells really good. Right. Running with the Wolves. Really want to cast on with this, and it is not one that would be good for Sock Madness this year, going by their recommendations for yarns. I think it is just way too variegated and would not likely work for any of the unknown patterns that are coming. But maybe I can luck out and hold on to it just in case. We'll see. The last thing I got, thank God we're up to the last thing. I got my Leading Man Fiber Arts Cast of Characters minis. So I am in their monthly mini club where they send you 5 minis of their colors on their showstopper base. I had to double check the name of it. And they're just going through their entire catalog of colors in alphabetical order. So here I have Eternal Kiss, which, oh my God, I love that color. This is a beautiful purple. Eternal Kiss. I think I'm going to eventually have to get a sweater's quantity in this color, because I would love to have a sweater in that color. Anyway, and then we have Evil Queen, which is a beautiful blue. Fierce and Fabulous, a kind of orangey red. Fishbone, which is quite a pretty blue. And then, is it just Flamingo or is it more? Flamingo Lingo, which is a fun pink. But this one, yeah, I'm loving that color. Got a sweater in this, just nice. Have to be a pretty basic sweater because most things would get lost in that, but maybe if it had like maybe some cabling detail, just a little bit of cabling at the neck and the arm, the cuffs. That would be gorgeous. Anyway, that was the last thing I got. So that's all my new stash and acquisitions. Hooray. Now, babbling personal stuff. Yeah, there's still a pandemic going on, and so, like many people, especially in the US, I am going nowhere because, well, the vaccinations are starting to be put into arms. I'm not one of those people that have been allowed to get one yet. So I am not going anywhere until said shots can really happen. I did say I went to the dentist this morning. My hygienist has in fact gotten her shot. Both of them. Both her shots. As had, it sounded like everybody else in the building, that works in the building, obviously. I don't know about other people. So that's great. I like hearing that more people are getting their vaccinations. It makes me very excited because eventually my mother will be able to get hers, and then eventually I'll be able to get mine. And yes. So yeah, not going anywhere. Went to the dentist. Still have that. They do this weird fluoride treatment that they paint onto my teeth. And it's this gluey thing. I don't know how many dentists do this. Maybe it's common for every dentist. But my dentist does this and I absolutely hate it. It's important. I'd like to keep my teeth as long as I have my head. I would like to keep the same teeth that I have now in said head. That would be great. But yeah, And then that you just have that taste all day long, even after eating. You still have that, whatever it is. Ugh, not a fan. Anyway, I went to the dentist. That's it. That's almost it. I did get a phone call from someone yesterday. I'm going to be a little vague, so I shouldn't even talk about it. Yeah, we're not even going to talk about it. Not worth it. If anything happens because of it, I'll tell you. But no, likely nothing will. So, never mind. Maybe I'll just take that whole part out. We'll see later if I decided to edit that whole section out. We'll see. So yeah, that's pretty much it. The kid is back home again, finishing up what might be their second to last quarter at college for their undergrad. So that's a thing. One more quarter. And then grad school. I don't feel old enough to have a kid going to grad school. I doubt anyone feels old enough to have a kid going to grad school. But I really don't feel old enough to have a kid going into grad school. But hooray for him. Fantastic. Life is going well for him. At least in that. I'm sure the rest of it is not going so well. Pandemic. College. It's not how you want to spend your college years is in a pandemic. Not fun. Not fun at all. That's pretty much it. I'm still slowly waiting on getting a dishwasher. Supposed to hear about that on the 8th. I'm really tired of doing dishes. And I don't even do them all the time. I let other people live in the house. The dishes are getting done. It's not like I have a sink piled full of dirty dishes all the time. They get done every day. I'm not the one always doing that. That's all I mean. And it'll be nice to be able to have a dishwasher again. Oh, I am going to pause for just half a second because I just realized I do have one other thing to mention plans-wise. Yes, I do. So, just hold a moment. All right, I'm back. That took a little longer than I expected because I couldn't figure out where I left things. My stash is too large. Okay, this is going to go back to cross stitch, and maybe if I'm feeling really rambunctious with my editing, I can put this back in plans, and if not, you're going to watch it now. We'll see how talented I'm feeling. Who knows? Anyhow, last episode, I had mentioned that I'm trying not to start too many things, but if I don't start anything, I'm going to start everything, basically. So I'm giving myself four big starts this year. I'm allowing myself 4 big, and that doesn't mean the project has to be big. Though most of mine are. Most of my thoughts on it are. Necessarily a big project, but a big, I've always wanted to do this kind of thing, project. So I'm going to allow myself 4 during the solstices and the equinoxes. Again, I don't remember what the plural of equinox is. So spring is coming. The spring equinox will be here this month. Exciting. So I started pulling out ideas of what I want to start on the first day of spring. And if other people want to join me with that, please do. I mean, starting things is great, isn't it? Yeah, it is. So please join me. So yeah, I have decided to show you all my thoughts and help. Please comment below if you're like, ooh, I'd love to see that, or hey, I'll join you with that, or I'd like to see you completely fail at once you've started this, ever seeing it again. Let me know, because I need all the help I can get, because I cannot narrow this down. I really can't. Yeah. Anyway, so thoughts I'm having. Note, all of these are kitted. Technically not all of them. Almost all of these are kitted. So first up is this one. It is Papillon Creations, Les Jardins d'Amour. So the Gardens of Love by Papillon Creations. And I was planning on doing this, because like I said, it's all kitted up, on this lovely green with an assortment of reds and greens and NPIs and some beads, because there are some beads. So I've had this kitted up for ages. So this is an idea. Oh, gardens of love, spring. There is nothing. So I've thought about that. This is another one that's a contender. This is a Moira Blackburn chart. This one is, I have several of hers. This one is Pains of Love. I finished one of these, of her samplers, and it is living with my mother. So Pains of Love, be sweeter far than all the other pleasures are. Her photos are not the best. These are not new charts. They've been around for a bit. But it's an absolutely beautiful sampler. So, planning on doing that one on a 36 count Lakeside Linen Pearled Barley. Next up, Inspiration, Rosewood Manor. This is such a beautiful chart. So beautiful. So beautiful. And if I was showing it like that, I apologize. You can't see a dang thing. It's gorgeous. I have seen this thing stitched up completely and swoon on, I have no clue what, but it's a pretty yellow. Maybe it's even the called for fabric. I honestly don't recall. Looks like it could be. But that's another thought. Oh yeah, Anne Grimshaw. I wanted to do Anne Grimshaw for an age. An absolute age. Age. Yeah. There's my fabric. I'm planning on doing it on Picture This Plus Earthen. So a little bit darker. And what threads? Let's find out together. Oh, I guess I'm going with brown. That seems weird. Did I decide to go with brown? That's what I have kitted in here, is a lovely brown. Maybe that's what I decided to go with instead of the called for black, which seems really strange, but that's what I have in here right now. These are Vicky Clayton silks. Absolutely pretty. And if it wants to not focus, that's not fun. Let's focus. So we can see the glorious color. Yes. I might change that actually. This has been kitted up for ages. And I might have to change the thread. I think I'd really prefer a black. Like a rubbed black, or a bluey black kind of color. A little bit of oomph to it instead of just like DMC 310. I would not choose that personally. But yeah, evidently I haven't kitted up with a brown. Who knows? Maybe I'll change my mind whenever I start that. And another one, this one's by Bygone Stitches, Quaker Virtues. And I was planning on doing this. I don't know if it's supposed to be in 2 colors. I think it is a 2-color chart. I know I pulled out 2 colors. These were what I was planning on doing it in. So yes, now I'm recalling. This was going to be the motifs, and then these were going to be the words. So this is Vicky Clayton Silks, and I had what? Bud and Bloom and a Knucker were the colorways. So that's a few of them. Like I said, I can't make my mind up. There's also Chatelaine. This is Poison Garden. I have everything kitted up for this one. Gorgeous. Absolutely beautiful. Martina Weber did such beautiful charts. They were absolutely gorgeous. And they still are gorgeous. But she designed absolutely beautiful things. So maybe that. Maybe finally starting my Never Ending Russian Rooftops by Thea Gufner. Oh yeah. Never Ending Russian Rooftops. I have had this for dog's years. Ever. A year, decades. Absolutely forever. And I desperately want to make it. But then I started buying some of her other cities. I mean, why would you not buy other cities when you haven't started the others? And I started thinking, well, maybe I should only do the ones where I've lived. So, or not lived. I wish. Visited. So I have London. Visited there a couple of times. And I have Amsterdam. Visited there several times. And then I stopped buying them because I was like, I need to finish ones because I want to get Paris. I want to, there's a whole bunch. There's a whole bunch. I think I own one more and I couldn't find it. But I haven't been here yet. If things go very right in the world, very right, next year, at the end of next year, I will be able to say I have been to St. Petersburg. So now I almost want to start it because I'll have been then. Don't ask. It makes no sense. But maybe start Never Ending Russian Rooftops. Another one I want to start. The Sewing Chest of Nantucket Sister Sailor Sarah Elliott. So it was a kit, and it was all these bits and pieces. I have the box in my basement. By basement, I mean downstairs in the family room. So I have this all kitted out. Main reason I have never started this one is I am terrified of the finishing. Absolutely terrified of the finishing. So if I ever did start this, I would need someone to suggest a finisher for me because this is way too beautiful to not do. See, there's all my yarn, my threads. They've kind of lived in this bag for a while. They're sad now. And I have a little nautical thread keep. But yeah, everything's in here except the DMC. So that's another potential. But wait, she said, there's more. And then there's this stack. These are the ones that are not kitted, though I might have to rekit and Grimshaw. We'll see. I'm gonna have to. No, I need to rekit that one. I do not want brown. I want black. Decision has been made, at least on that. Doesn't mean I won't start it on the 20th. Just means I need black silk. So I probably shouldn't start it on the 20th because I doubt I have that much black silk. All right, there's one down. One down. I won't be doing Anne Grimshaw because she needs new black silks. These would be easy enough to kit up. I want to start one of these sometime soon. Now, most of these other projects you'll have noticed, they are large. But like I said, it doesn't have to be a large project. Most of these are not. I want to start one of my primitive needle patterns. I've had these for ages, and I don't think I've started any of them, but I've owned them for ages. So there's Blackened Sky. Beautiful. There's Tombstone Spots, Needful Things. Love. I mean, just love. Love that. There's Salem Remembered. So that would be all the people, how does it say? The names on my sampler represent the death toll of the Salem witch hunt. There are so many things to learn from this terrible time in our history, but perhaps the most important should be a reminder to all people everywhere to have a spirit of understanding and tolerance to prevent anything like this ever happening again. So, Salem Remembered. The dampy sod, apologies. This one's just so sweet. It says, the cold beneath the dampy sod, thy limbs in peaceful slumber lie, thy spirit seeks a gracious God, and flits its passage through the sky. The dampy sod, I love that. And then last, Ichabod Seabury. This one, I think I even have fabric for. I'd have to double check, but I'm not sure. Here lies the body of Mr. Ichabod Seabury, died October 30th, 1788. Reader, death is a debt to nature. Do as I have paid, so must you. To nature do. I mean, I put the pause in the wrong spot, and so it made no sense. I mean, that was horrible reading. Death is a debt to nature due, as I have paid, so must you. Ha! That is much better, and actually makes sense, and has the rhyme, and the da-da-da-da-da-da. Iambic pentameter thing going on. Yeah. So one of those. Yeah, that's it. Those are the things that I have pulled out that I want to start, that I'm thinking of starting one of these for my spring start. Help. Oh, please, please, please help me figure out which one I should start. Give me suggestions. Tell me that you're starting one of them. I'll happily join you. Tell me you're already working on one. I'll happily join you. Anything to help me focus down and start one of these. I would love some help. So that is officially all of my plans. Yikes. I didn't think I had that many things pulled out that I wanted to start. But I did. All right. That's it, folks. I've got nothing else. I'm glad that Texas seems to be recovering from the weather that they got. Spring seems to be starting, at least in the Pacific Northwest. It smelled like spring yesterday, which was nice. It's March again. Discussed that at the beginning. March. Eternal March. It is always March. March will never end. March 2020. The continuance. The son of the bride of the nightmare of the return of the March of ever. Or something. Right. That's it, folks. I hope all of you are well. I hope you have better plans than I do when it comes to your stitching and your knitting both. May you not injure yourself like a dummy, and take better care of your body so that you may continue to do the things that you enjoy. Wise words there. Got the wise words, don't have the wise actions. May your tea never be empty if you drink it, because mine totally is. And I've misplaced my teacup. It's empty, so it doesn't really matter, but may your teacups never be misplaced. Same with your coffee cups if you're a coffee drinker. And on that note, I will say goodbye to you until 2 weeks from now when I see you again. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.